Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Julie Tokarowski. I'm an RYT 200. So I'm so happy you're here. Looks like there's 9 of you. This is super exciting. This is my first time doing a live stream, so I'm a little nervous. I have music going on in the background. If it gets too loud, just send me a chat, say can't hear you, whatever you want to do. But we'll get started. So go ahead and find your place on your mat. I'm just going to make this full screen. Okay. Welcome. I'm so excited to be doing this, so I'll give you a little spiel of Hands to Heart Center, and then we'll jump right in. So Hands to Heart Center, Yoga for the People, is a nonprofit organization that shares the healing practice of yoga with people affected by addiction, poverty, and trauma in Greater Boston. So HTHC, we're also thanking the Boston Public Library because this is our partnership. Normally we'd be doing this in person, but COVID had other ideas. So that being said, we'll get started. You kind of roll your shoulders away from your back. I'm going to give you a nice little intro, talk a little bit about myself. This is your time to settle into your mat. Again, my name is Julie. As I said, I'm an RYT 200, which means I studied 200 hours of Hatha yoga. So this is not flow. It's not flow yoga. So if that feels different to you, perfect. That's the great thing about everyone being in quarantine. We've got a lot of time with ourselves. That being said, Hatha yoga literally translates to sun moon yoga. So when you think of Hatha yoga, you're going to think of sun salutation, moon salutation, standing pose, seated pose, core building pose, and then a nice long Shavasana. So get ready for a nice break at the end. I do give you a 10-minute Shavasana. If that feels good for you, perfect. If you're moving around and wiggling around during it, that's perfect too. I can't see you. You can only see me. Don't know how much that scares me. That being said, go ahead and close your eyes. Without changing your breath, without adjusting it, just start to notice. Start to notice where you are at this Friday. This is your 60-minute gentle unwind yoga. We're really sitting with the breath here. Hatha may feel a little bit slower to some people who have practiced a type of flow yoga. Sit with that feeling, just observe it, see how that feels with you. If it feels uncomfortable, if you feel like you're not moving fast enough, feel free to add in a pose here or there. Make it active, whatever you feel is good for you. Closing your eyes, rolling your shoulders away from your ears. Really settling into your mat, your safe space right below you. And as we start to settle, I'll show you one breath called Shitali. Shitali is Sanskrit for a cooling breath. So with Shitali, you're going to inhale like you're sucking through a straw. So if you look at me, you inhale, top the exhale, hold it, and exhale through your nose. So you can try that a couple times. I'll do it with you. Wait for your inhale. Inhale like you're sucking through a straw. And exhale through your nose. Inhale. And exhale through your nose. Again, sitting with that sensation. This may be the first time today that you've noticed your breath. See how that feels for you. Maybe your spine wants a little bit of movement. Maybe you kind of do some circles. Notice we haven't actually started any of the asana yet. We'll jump into a sun salutation. We'll start with cat-cows. We'll do half of the sun salutation. We'll do a moon salutation since this is a Friday. An abbreviated salutation, and then some poses. So it does start a little bit slower. It's not quite like a vinyasa flow. That being said, it does give you a lot of time with yourself. So if there's something that you need, you know your body best, feel free to give yourself that. On your next inhale, you'll bring your arms overhead, interlace your fingers and stretch up. Exhale, you can bend over to the right side. Inhale back up through the center. You can interlace your fingers again if you'd like to. Exhale down to the left, folding over. Again, sitting with that breath, we're going to move into four-legged pose. So basically we are in a tabletop pose. So you'll meet me there as you're ready. And from your tabletop pose, you're going to be able to do some cat-cows. So on your inhale, you drop your belly and you look forward. And on your exhale, you round through your spine and push the mat away. Same thing. Inhale, dropping your belly, looking forward. Exhale to round and curl and push the mat away. This is for you to check in with your breath. So I'm here on my mat, I'm doing the same thing. Sometimes I find that I curl my toes when I'm in cow pose. You don't have to, that's totally up to you. Press the mat away. Checking in with your breath. What is your body asking for? Maybe you thread the needle. That means one hand goes all the way up. I'm using my right arm. And then it goes all the way down and through. So that my right shoulder comes to my mat. Same thing, you can do it on the other side. Reach all the way up. Exhale down. Your shoulder literally comes to the mat. Inhale back up, reset. Couple more bends, couple more stretches, whatever you're asking for. Right now, my wrists are kind of feeling it, so I'm just gonna kind of warm them up a little bit. Rolling out through my shoulders. And then I'm gonna do my first downward facing dog of the day. Since it is the first one of the day, it's actually not my first, that's a lie. You're gonna go ahead and pedal out through your knees. And however you would like to, come all the way up and meet me in standing. Okay, great. So from standing, we're gonna do half of a sun salutation. So I mentioned sun salutations and moon salutations, hatha yoga. So we'll start with our Ardha Namaskar. We'll inhale, arms out wide overhead. Exhale, you begin to fold just halfway. So you hinge at the hips here, and you'll bring your palms to your thighs. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, let it all go, fold all the way down. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift all the way up. That is half of a sun salutation. We start with that because we want to really warm up through the spine. So let's do that a couple more times, maybe twice. Finding our equal standing pose. On your inhale, your arms go up wide. Exhale, you can meet them in prayer pose and sink down halfway if you'd like. Or you can bring your hands to your thighs or your shins. Inhale here, hold it. Exhale, fold all the way down. If this is difficult for you, feel free to bend through your knees. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Compressing all that stale air out. Inhale, arms out wide and overhead. Great. So that's half of the sun salutation. Now we're going to move into a moon salutation. We'll be here for a while. So if you get confused, just watch me. I'll be doing it too. Great. So with the moon salutation, it's not as expansive. It's not taking up as much space as the sun salutation. That being said, we're going to use a lot of child's pose. So we did half of our sun salutation. We'll go into the moon. Inhale, arms overhead. Still a little expansive. Exhale, fold down halfway, just like we did. Now from here, I'm just going to tilt the screen just a little bit. Oh my God, there's 34 of you. This is a lot. All right, from here, we're going to sink down into a yogi squat. So you're literally sinking down. It's a wide-legged squat. If it feels awkward, that's okay. I feel like you guys can't see me. There we go. Okay. So from here, your heels can be off the mat. That's totally fine. You're using your elbows. We bring our hands to prayer. Using your elbows to really push your knees apart and sink deeper. Hold it for a second here. Inhale, bring your left foot forward, coming into a low lunge. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see better. There's your low lunge. We always start on the left in a moon salutation. Find your breath here. Exhale, press back into a child's pose. Child's pose is a great resting pose. You're going to keep your knees out wide. Big toes will touch. Inhale, look forward. Shift into a cobra pose. Nice waking up of our spine right here. Let go of it. Exhale, come back down. Inhale, stand up on your knees, just like this. Hold it for a second. And then we pull our right leg forward. Low lunge, just like we started with, but we totally swapped it over. Holding it here. Again, asking what your body needs. On your exhale, you'll bring your feet together to touch. Same thing we did in half of a Namaskar. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold if you'd like. Arms out wide, inhale up all the way. Great. So that was half of one. We'll keep going. So we'll inhale up all the way. Exhale, begin to fold halfway down. Noticing yourself at halfway. Exhale, letting go of that air. And on this nice big inhale, we start to sink into that yogi squat. So remember, it's wide leg. We literally sink all the way down, like a sumo squat, I think is what they call it in the fitness world. Sitting with it for a second. This time, your right leg goes behind you. Inhaling with it here. This is your low lunge. You can come back to this at any point in practice. Exhale, press away, child's pose. Knees come out wide, big toes come together, chest lays on the mat. Inhale, here's your transition. Look forward, slide into cobra pose. On your next inhale, you'll come up and stand on your knees. Arms can go wide if you'd like. Inhale, looking forward. Here comes your left foot forward. Sitting with it. Finding your nice exhale. Stepping forward. Feet will touch. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift all the way up. And you got it, going right back down into it. Exhale, fold halfway. We're really starting to warm up our body here. You should feel like you're building some heat. Exhale all the way down, yogi squat. Inhale, this time you're gonna bring your right foot forward. Left foot goes long, lays on the mat. This is your low lunge. Exhale, press the mat away. Here is your child's pose. Bring those big toes to touch, knees apart. Walk your hands up forward. Inhale, look forward. Here is your transition. We slide onto our belly. And we lift through cobra pose. Exhale, let it go. Come up to stand on your knees. Arms can go overhead, they can come through center, however you want. Hold it for a second here. This time our left foot comes forward. Low lunge. Sit with it for a second. Feel it, and then let it go. Inhale, bring that back foot to the front. Forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Inhale, lift up all the way. We're gonna do it one more time. So that was twice. We did it on the left and the right twice. So same thing, we're just gonna do it one more time on each side. You should really start to be feeling this heat, because I know I am. Inhale up all the way. Exhale, fold halfway. Find your shins or your thighs, whatever feels best. Exhale, sink all the way into a yogi squat. Inhale, send your left foot behind you. Low lunge on the right. Exhale, press the mat away from you. Child's pose, nice little resting pose here. This is when you can start to slow down. Inhale, look forward. Here comes your transition. Slide onto your belly. Coming up through cobra pose. Finding the exhale, coming to stand on your knees. And bring your left foot forward this time. Very nice. Hope everybody's doing good. Inhale, bring your back foot to meet the front. Exhale, fold. Inhale, you know the drill, up halfway. Exhale, fold if you'd like. Inhale, lift up all the way. One more side, we're almost done. Exhale down. Exhale all the way down. There's your yogi squat. Inhale, send your right leg behind you. This is your low lunge. You can rest here for a second if you'd like. Exhale, press the mat away from you, child's pose. Toes come together, knees come apart. Inhale, look forward. Here's your transition. Slide into cobra pose. Maybe bending through your elbows. Inhale, come up on your knees. Sitting with it here. Taking your right foot, bringing it forward. Low lunge. Finding that nice deep inhale. That was an exhale. Exhale, bringing your back foot forward so that you are in a forward fold. You know the drill. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold if you'd like. Inhale, lift all the way up. Okay, so that was 3 rounds of a moon salutation. That being said, we're going to go into a basic salutation, which is different than a moon salutation, but it's fun and it's going to warm up our spine a little bit more. I'm starting to feel the heat. I hope it's not just me. Okay, awesome. So the basic Surya Namaskar. Just going to tilt you up a little bit. There we go. Okay. So this is our basic one. This is for everybody to do. Can't see, can you? There we go. Okay. Arms will come out wide overhead, just like we were doing. Exhale, you'll fold, this time all the way over. So you'll go all the way down. Like I said, I'm going to turn to the side. So I just exhaled, I'm all the way down in a forward fold. My knees are bent because my hamstrings are tight. From here, you can lift up halfway if you'd like to. And then you'll meet me on all fours. This is the same position we were in when we started cat-cow. So from here, we'll do cat-cow. We'll start with cow. Inhaling, dropping the belly. Exhaling to press the mat away, rounding through the spine. We'll do it twice. Inhale. Exhale. From here, here's your transition. Lift into downward facing dog. You curl your toes underneath you, and you lift your hips up in the air. If you need to pedal out your legs, that is totally fine. This is your time. As you feel ready, as you feel that exhale coming, you'll exhale to walk forward to meet your hands in that nice forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold if you'd like. Inhale, come up all the way. And we'll do it again. Hinging at the hips, folding forward, coming all the way down, meeting me on all fours, doing some cat-cows. Inhale to drop the belly, looking forward. Exhale to press the mat away. Do it one more time. Inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, press the mat away. Finding your breath, and when you reach a point of exhale, you'll curl your toes and you'll lift your hips, downward facing dog. As you are ready, on your inhale this time, you'll walk your hands or your feet to meet your hands in that nice forward fold, maybe bending your knees a lot if your hamstrings are really feeling this. That's okay. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. We'll do it one more time, just to make sure I'm not the only one that's hot. Arms up overhead, there we go. Exhale, folding halfway down. Exhale to fold all the way down. Sending yourself into tabletop position. Catching your breath, noticing if you're holding on to it, or if it's natural, easy, whatever it is, just checking it out. Inhale, drop the belly, look forward. Exhale, round through the spine. Press that away. Inhale, drop the belly, look forward. Exhale, round through the spine. Press away. Maybe finding a neutral tabletop for a second. Catching your inhale, and then on your exhale, grounding those toes, lifting up through your hips, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. Walk those feet to meet the hands. Maybe bending your knees a lot here if that's what you need. This is relaxing and unwinding yoga. Bending your knees a lot if that's what you're asking for. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold, bending those knees if it feels good. Exhale. Inhale, arms go out wide. And through heart center. I'm just gonna readjust. Feel free to grab some water, so maybe a towel if you need a second. I know we got a little warm. Our next pose is gonna be warrior two. So you can meet me. So it's a similar stance to a wide-legged squat, to that yogi squat that we were doing. I don't know if you want to be able to see my face or not, but you got it. Okay. Got that wide-legged squat kind of stance. You're turning your toes out to the corners of the room. From here, you're going to turn your right toes so that they are completely vertical, and then you're going to bend into that knee. Your back foot is just going to kind of follow suit. If you want to turn your toes, they can come to a 45-degree angle, pointing on a vertical. Sitting with it for a second. Inhale, find your breath. And spreading your arms out wide. Now this can be a very moving pose. It's totally up to you. You could cactus your arms. You could eagle your arms. To eagle our arms, I'll show you the quick little trick. You're gonna take one arm, fold it, other arm, nice bend, sweep it under the right. Those are your eagle arms. Like I said, you can make it active if you want, or you can just sit with it. For me, I'm just gonna sit with it. Notice my flexibility. And then I'm gonna think of my knee and be really nice to my knee. And maybe just do a little bit of bending, just to kind of end the week on a good note. Give love to the joints. Holding it. Exhale here, you're going to come back to the center. This is your wide-legged forward fold. So you're literally diving down, just like we did in our sun salutations, and reaching for the mat. This is your forward fold with wide legs. If this is too much and you feel the blood rushing to your head, just come back up on your fingertips. You can fold if you'd like to. You can grab for your ankles, maybe sway side to side. Whatever feels good on your body. Finding your breath. Is your breath with you at the moment? Or have you totally checked it at the door? Maybe inhaling up halfway, lengthening your spine. Exhale, we'll make our way over to the left foot. We'll bend that left knee right here. We're gonna point the toes towards the opposite wall. Nice big bend in the knee. Back foot is gonna follow suit, staying completely straight and diagonal, kind of to the diagonal, like a corner. Inhale, find that breath. Exhale, you can spread your arms out if you'd like. If this isn't doing it for you, like I said, you can cactus. We can do an eagle. We can make it really active if you just want to kind of be moving your arms like this. But that is up to you. I will stay here. Hatha yoga is very good at toning because we're in a lot of poses for a pretty long amount of time. 2 to 3 breaths sounds great in vinyasa, and then hatha is more like 3 to 7. So inhale, coming up through center, turning your toes back, just like train tracks. Exhale, put your hands on your hips. On your next exhale, you'll fold, wide-legged forward fold, just like we did. Whatever feels good here. If you want to nod your head yes or shake your head no, maybe you want to sway from side to side. This is your time. We're giving some love to the hamstrings. We want to really feel that. Maybe you're just sitting halfway. Maybe you're on your fingertips. Call that tenting your fingertips. It looks like this. Whatever is good for you at this moment. And as you're ready, you'll come meet me back up in an inhale, right through center. And this time we'll turn towards our right. This is going to be pyramid pose. Just, okay, so you can see me. So, turning completely to the right. We've got 1 foot in front, 1 foot in back. We're going to take that back leg and step it in maybe 6 inches. From here, if you don't have a block, you can use a book. I brought both. You can use that block to put your hands on it as you bend forward. If this feels like too much and that's not happening, that's fine. Step that leg even closer. Release some of the tension on the hamstring. This is your pyramid pose. Your toes are pointed forward. We're relaxing our chest. We're sitting with that feeling. Inhale, coming up through center again. Kind of those train tracks of your feet. And then turning to the left. Same thing, I'm gonna bring my block because I have tight hamstrings. If this is not happening here, bring that back foot in just a little bit, maybe 6 inches. Grab for your block and surrender your chest. The point of this pose is to try to get your chest as close to your thigh as possible. If that's just not happening, you can sit halfway like this. If that's not happening at all and you've got a chair, you can use a chair. It's totally up to you. Finding our breath here. Noticing comfort in the discomfort. Resetting, coming back through center. And we'll make our way down to the floor. So from this pose on, we'll be completely on the floor. I did that on purpose, so that you're not going up, down, and getting dizzy. That being said, if you want to grab some water, please feel free. This is going to be our seated forward fold. So we did it standing, we did it quite a bit, but it's nice to do a little bit of a release through your hamstrings when you can really, really feel it seated. So, finding our breath. You'll inhale to lengthen through your spine. If it helps, you can bring your arms up overhead like this. And then as you exhale, you really want to fold forward. Don't think about rounding. Think about really keeping that nice, long, elongated spine and grabbing for your toes. If that's not happening, that's fine. Take a big bend in your knees. You can still reach for your toes. Finding whatever part of this pose feels good for you. Finding your inhale to lengthen up again. Maybe you want to press your palms into the mat to keep that length. Lengthening. And exhale, fold and reach. Inhale, same thing. I'm going to bring my arms up overhead. Elongating my spine. And then I'm going to exhale, fold, and reach. Notice I'm not curling. I'm trying to keep my spine very straight and flat. Even when my hamstrings are telling me, you know what, this is about it, that's as far as we're going to go, that's perfect. Then we grab onto our feet. And we sit with that sensation. Inhaling to come out of it. Exhale, recenter. Coming back through the center, like how I started. We kind of sat on the floor. Sitting in this nice, it's kind of like a crisscross applesauce, if you will. But I have one of my feet slightly in front of the other, just because putting my right foot on top of my left leg feels a little bit odd to me. So I keep one slightly in front of the other. You are welcome to do that. I did stop you for a reason. This pose is to check in with your breath and notice how you're feeling. If you've been clenching, maybe you feel a little bit of pressure between your brows. Maybe you want to take a second, put some pressure there. For me, I would like to take sometimes one finger, put it on top of my head, just to feel how that feels. Focus in. Noticing whatever you need here. This is a great time to use that cooling breath that we did at the beginning of class. So that cooling breath, we did the inhale through the straw, right? And exhale through our nose. Just do a couple of those. See if you can release some heat. Inhale, like inhaling through a straw. Exhale, let it go through your nose. A couple more times at your own pace. If you can curl your tongue, I cannot. That's another great way to do this breath exercise. For me, it's easier to think of inhaling through a straw. But if you can curl your tongue and you want to do it that way, that's perfectly fine too. The great thing about live is that I can't see you. So inhale, like through a straw or maybe through your curled tongue. Find the top of that inhale, exhale through your nose. Maybe bringing your feet together so that they're sole to sole. Same thing, we're just noticing how our body is feeling. We're tapping into that energy. Noticing maybe your body is asking for you to roll your neck a couple times. Maybe your body is asking you to do a couple side bends. This is your practice. I am merely facilitating. For me, I'm going to roll my head a couple times. Start to feel that let go. Maybe 2 more breaths here. Maybe you want to close your knees like a book. Maybe that's a little too intense on your hips. You don't want to put too much pressure on our hip flexors at the end of the week. Exhale, you'll meet me in a child's pose. This time you really get to enjoy it. So press those knees apart, big toes come together. You've got all the space between your legs, so you're going to walk yourself forward and surrender your chest to the mat. If this feels awkward, if this feels tight, try extending your knees a little bit wider. So you're really just pushing your knees a little bit wider, giving yourself more space to rest your chest. You can also do that with your knees together. If it feels better to have your knees together, everything kind of compact, that's great too. You can lay your chest on your knees, just like this. If this still feels weird, you can bring your arms behind you and press your forehead into the mat. I'm just here cueing you. You can stay in your child's pose. Notice what your body is asking for, but also notice what feels good. So for me, it feels good to have my knees apart and my big toes together. And then I can walk my hands forward and I can surrender my chest all the way to the mat. For some people, it might feel good to stack palm over palm like this, and then give yourself a little bit of a pillow to put your forehead on. Whatever you need. This is also your time to kind of massage that third eye into the mat. Just rolling side to side. Enjoying a little bit of peace here. I did do this strategically in the middle of our practice. This is your moment to slow down. Really exhale, let go, come back to the mat. And that tricky transition that we did maybe 15 minutes ago when we did our moon salutation, we'll do the same thing, very similar. So we're here in child's pose. We're looking forward and we're going to slide into cobra pose. That means you're closing your legs together. Maybe you're coming through tabletop and diving into cobra. If this feels like too much, you can lower down and come into Sphinx. Sphinx is great. Just make sure that you're not keeping any tension through your legs. If you're sitting here, you're able to roll your neck. You're not stiff. You're rolling your shoulders away from your ears. And like I said, cobra is always an option. Cobra looks a little something like this. It may look like this if you want, and it may look like sit exposed. Using your palms to really press into the mat. This is a back bend, right? We're doing this to counterpose all of the inverting kind of work that we did in child's pose. We call this a counter pose. Check in that breath. Where is your breath? Is it in your throat? Are you holding it in your chest so tight that you feel like you can't breathe because we don't want that? Inhale, press back and come up to sit on your heels. This is hero's pose. We're going to do another round of the breath that I showed you. This is a great way to sit, just because it kind of recenters everything, balances us out. Finding your breath, like I said, hatha, it can be very slow, or it can be power yoga. We're definitely on the slow side today. Finding your breath. And we'll also do another breath. We'll do Shitali and we'll do Shitkari. And Shitkari is a little bit different. You're really going to feel it on the sides of your mouth. So if you want to watch for a second, I'll show you Shitali versus Shitkari. So Shitali and Shitkari are both Sanskrit. So Shitali, like we're inhaling through a straw, right? Sucking through a straw. Find the top of the inhale and exhale it out. That is Shitali. It's definitely a cooling breath. Shitkari is a little bit different. We're going to inhale and catch our tongue, just the tip of the tongue between our teeth. Exhale through your nose. Give that one a couple of tries. It may feel a little weird, may feel bizarre, because we don't normally breathe like that. Sitting with it for a second. Inhale, one more time. You can do Shitali or Shitkari, remembering that Shitali is like sucking through a straw or maybe curling your tongue. So whatever is best for you, you'll know once you find it. And I encourage you to close your eyes here and really feel the stability of your legs underneath you. Notice how your mat feels on the ground. You can do a couple more. Inhale, exhale around. Exhaling through your nose. You may notice during these breaths that you tend to do a little bit of a rise and a fall. I tend to do that too. So when I inhale with Shitali, I don't even notice it, but I raise my shoulders a little bit. So the very natural thing to do would be to lower them on an exhale. See if you can notice that too. Inhaling, maybe Shitali or Shitkari, it's up to you. Inhale. Exhale through your nose. And feel that tension start to roll off your shoulders. We're sitting here. Maybe we're rocking forward. Maybe we're rocking side to side. This is a great time to roll out your wrists if you want to flip them so that your palms are facing facing me. You're going to have your palms directly on the floor. If that's not happening for you, that's fine. You can just go side to side. Getting a little bit of stretch through your fingers. Warming up everything. We're about 40 minutes in. We want to say that we're nice and warm, but we also want to say that we could do some core. And yes, I did promise core, so you'll follow me down. While we're sitting on our heels, we'll start to gently roll back. If this isn't happening for you, love it. Don't do it. Not even a problem. But you're going to roll back so that you catch yourself on your elbows. For me, that is not happening. So I'm just going to untuck my feet. And I'm going to kick my feet out in front of me. So it's gonna look a little bit more like fish pose for me rather than reclined hero. Reclined hero is not happening for my ankles. So we're just going to go into fish pose. You're using your elbows to support yourself. But if you inhale, think of a beam of light spitting out right at the top of your head. So that you inhale to lift, and exhale, you drop your head behind you. Inhale to lift back up. Maybe sit up, see how that felt. That's totally up to you. If you hated it, don't do it. I'm totally fine with that too. Whatever you're feeling, we are moving into core. But we don't want it to come as a surprise. Exhale, fold all the way down. Get yourself comfy here. You can do this with a block. You can do it without a block. It's totally up to you. You're going to bring your feet to a reverse tabletop position. Bring your palms so that they're right on your thighs. This is a great core workout because obviously can't see you, but I don't even know how hard you're pushing. You're pushing with your thighs and you're pushing through your palms, giving yourself a little bit of fire in the core. Keeping that breath, noticing how we're looking, what's our form looking like. And let it go. Maybe you windshield wiper your feet side to side. Your legs just fall on one side to the other side. And then maybe you collapse them into each other so that your knees are kind of knocked. Feeling how that affected the body. Inhaling to come and sit up. You can kind of roll forward if you'd like. We're going to find ourselves in boat pose. That'll be our last core pose. I only did 2. That was on purpose. We'll inhale. You can feel free to leave a toe on the mat. You can feel free to lift your entire foot off the mat. But what we're doing is inhaling to curl forward a little bit here so that our toes maybe come off the mat. Maybe we just have one on the mat. Maybe we lift both feet off. Maybe we give ourselves a bit of a challenge. Maybe we reach our arms forward. If this isn't happening for you and you want to keep those hands right under the crease of your knee, that is perfectly fine. To get a little bit more Agni or core, Agni means core in Sanskrit, feel free to lean back a little bit. Maybe you want to lean back and crunch in. I am not going to do that. If you want to, go for it. Finding that heat in the core, pushing yourself to a place where you feel like something is happening. You're not just laying there. That's what we want to focus on. Exhale, let it go. Sitting up, noticing if there's a little bit more heat than there was when we started. We'll do it one more time. Bringing your arms up, whatever is easiest for you, however you want to set this up. For me, I always walk my feet back a little bit. And then I grab the crease under my knee. And then I decided maybe I'll let one arm go. Maybe I'll let both arms go. Maybe I let go a little bit further back. Maybe I crunch in. That's up to you. Exhale, come out of it. And roll down onto your back for me. You'll have your knees bent. And we're going into bridge pose. So bridge pose is going to feel some heat through your thighs. That being said, you can interlace your fingers underneath your bridge once we lift. You can also put a block underneath your bridge. That is totally available. On the shortest measurement, you can slide it right underneath your sacrum. That's that flat part of your back. On your inhale, we'll lift up. Pressing the fingertips into the mat. Maybe interlacing. Just so that we open up through the chest. Maybe you want to try to lift your left foot off the mat. Maybe that's not happening. Whatever is best in your practice. Exhale, let it go. Crawl yourself into a tiny ball. We're doing that just to counterpose the back bend that we just did. We'll go up into it one more time. Planting our feet firmly on the mat. Think about the middle finger of your finger, like your middle finger, brushing against the back of your heel. So it's literally just the tip of your middle finger is going to brush against the back of your heels, and you're going to lift up on your inhale. There it is. For me, I always want to interlace my fingers beneath me. Making sure to breathe here. Maybe you want to try lifting the opposite leg. Maybe you want to go into full wheel. I will not cue full wheel just because I don't like it. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, tucking your knees like you're in a tiny ball. And now bending your knees, kind of like what we did in reverse tabletop, but we'll open our legs and we'll grab your spine by rocking side to side. You can think about pulling down on the knife side edge of your foot so that your knees are coming close to the mat. If that's not happening for you, that's totally fine. You can bring your toes together in a supine butterfly position. That's better for you. If none of this is working for you, I encourage you to grab maybe your left leg, pull it close, and let your right leg go long. Maybe you take your your left leg across your body and do a nice little side body twist. Maybe you just hold it at your chest. Switching out your legs. If you've used your left leg close, pull your right leg close this time. Same options here. You can cross your right leg over your body. Get a nice little twist here. Totally up to you. Maybe it just feels good to be in a tiny ball. Whatever feels good to you. This is the end of our practice. We've got about 4 minutes where I encourage you to do whatever feels good in your body. For me, that means one more bridge pose. If you'd like to follow me through it, you're more than welcome. Same thing, middle fingers brush against the back of your heels, and you lift up, lifting those hips all the way up. Feeling the expansion through your chest and through your shoulders. Maybe you're interlacing your fingers underneath your sacrum. Maybe you grab that block or a book, like we said, we can use either, putting it on its lowest measurement, and giving it a really nice restorative kind of feel. Another really great trick, if you have a block or a book available, you can put your legs up a wall. You'll move your legs forward until they feel totally weightless. That is waterfall pose. It's a really great restorative pose for the end of the week. Noticing our breath here. Slide my block out. I'm going to drop my hips back to the mat. I'm going to crawl into a tiny ball. Maybe I'm rocking side to side. I'll crawl into the tiniest ball I have all day. I'll inhale here. Exhale, let it go. Shavasana. For Shavasana, you can have your arms on either side of your body. You can have your arms up overhead. You can have your hands on your stomach, noticing the rise and fall of your breath. Regardless of what you choose, I will be here cueing you through it. And this is the point in my practice where I like to pull out a really great meditation tool. This is the singing bowl. The singing bowl is great for centering in and catching our breath. Shavasana represents the depth of our practice, if you will. But the great thing about the singing bowl is that we find that rebirth. Hear the vibrations, hear how it kind of reverberates in the space. Like I said, it's a meditation tool. It's a great gentle vibration that you can kind of relax with. noticing that gentle rise and fall of your belly as you inhale and as you exhale. Each time that the singing bowl reverberates, think about yourself as an empty bowl. At the end of the week, it feels like there's really nothing left to give. And think of meditation as filling up that empty bowl. Remembering that there are so many things that we cannot control. Being gentle with ourselves and sitting with the things that we can. It can be so easy to get swept up in those racing thoughts. The singing bowl helps us to realize that a thought is a thought, and we can just let it go. Think of a cloud passing in the sky, noticing it, observing it, not attaching anything to it, and watching as it passes. With each inhale and each exhale, you're letting go a little bit more. Feel like you're almost melting into the mat. Your shoulders are not propping you up, they're just kind of resting there. Everything feels very open. In these moments of silence, this is where our thoughts tend to race a little bit. See if you can't bring yourself back to the present moment. Noticing if this feels unnatural, maybe even scary, maybe even a little jarring. We don't like to be still. We don't like to not have something planned. Sometimes it comes across as lazy if we don't have something planned. The beauty of yoga is that you can have nothing planned, do your practice, and then simply just be. Shavasana is the most important part of our practice and always the hardest. And always in my classes, I like to give the last 5 minutes of uninterrupted silence, just with a singing bowl. We have about 1 minute until that 5-minute mark. And I encourage you to do what you need. If you need to put something underneath your head, maybe you want to roll to one side, use your arm as a blanket, maybe in a fetal pose. I encourage you to do that. Noticing your breath beginning to come back to this space virtually. Rolling onto whatever side you prefer, and propping up your head, even your arm, like laying on a pillow. You can have your knees bent into your chest, fetal pose. We'll come to a nice seated position. You can have your hands at heart center, or you can have your hands on your knees, whatever you prefer. Thank you for doing practice with me. Again, my name is Julie, and this was a partnership with the Boston Public Library for virtual yoga through Hand Star Center. Thank you, and namaste.